All right. Hello, good evening, and welcome to NSG News here in our luxurious studios here at Accra, Ghana. I'm here in a Adenta part of this republic. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is Pulse of the Week, the Friday edition, and this is 26th of September 2025. We are streaming live on all our social media handles, especially on YouTube at NSG News TV. Welcome to the program. In a breather, I'll be sharing with you major stories, headlines in our country, Ghana, and also settle down for detailed analysis of the subject for discussion this evening. Please join me, share your comment with me, like our page, and also share it with the rest of the world. Please do share your comment with me. I'm so happy you've joined me here on NSG News TV. And this is Pulse of the Week. Welcome. All right, so welcome back. It's still a pleasure to have you join me here on NSG News, and this is Pulse of the Week with your man Kofi Asante Mensah. A big thank you to all our crew members for making this happen. We are streaming live on YouTube, and it is NSG News TV. Welcome once again. We begin with some tussle or some misunderstanding between the NLA and the Fourth Estate, a media organization, and the former DG or Director General for the National Lottery Authority. And I can promise you, on Wednesday, the midweek edition of Pulse of the Week, I will be bringing you details of what the scandal is at the NLA with respect to Sami Ewuku and what have you. But in the meantime, the GBA monopoly debate is still on. Chief Justice nominee urges the Ghana Law Society to seek licensing from the General Legal Council. All right, so I'll be showing you that video very soon.
Tariwaja and the Attorney General. The courts have always insisted that practicing lawyers must be in good standing. And as far as good standing is concerned, to us, it means you must have a certificate from the GLC. So in your speech, Counsel, you said that you are going to make representation to the GLC for recognition and then licensing. Yes, I think it will be in the right direction. That because all that we are interested in at the GLC is that you possess our license.
All right, so that is the Chief Justice nominee talking to the Ghana Law Society, who paid a courtesy call on him sometime yesterday. And let me remind you, there's a new poll by the Global Info Analytics, and Mr. Musa Dankwa will be joining me exactly at 6:30 to have an extensive discussion on this very subject. Okay. All right. So Mr. Musa Dankwa want to join us without camera, and we are ready for that. So just exactly at 6:30, we would have Mr. Musa Dankwa join us for that very discussion. Let's move on and do some more stories, because we have some more stories to share with you. And don't forget, this is the very week His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama visited the United Nations and made some historic remarks, and I will have to share some videos with you on that very incident. But let's move on to some free SHS stories, because challenges with the placement or SHS placement is not far from going, because Parents are complaining, money extortions here and there. The Vice President, Professor Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman, has also added her voice to this very issue, asking that issues relating to placement, SHS placement, be addressed politely.
Let us learn to work together. There's so much talent in almost every agency that we can learn from, we can share. And I want to urge all of us that we learn from each other, we share our expertise, and that will the results are positive for all of us, and that's what matters most. I know you are doing school placement, and you have all kinds of people besieging, if not your offices, your homes, your phones, and all of them. What can we do? Let's just try very politely to explain the situation. What we try to do is to create more A schools with the E-blocks. And that's one of my to implement all of it, to run the whole system, to demonstrate that yes, more A schools. And it doesn't matter whether they are boarding or D, but the rest they say is history. Let us learn to work together. There's so much talent in almost every agency that we can learn from, we can share. And I want to urge all of us that we learn from each other, we share our expertise, and that will the results are positive for all of us, and that's what matters most. I know you are doing school placement, and you have all kinds of people besieging, if not your offices, your homes, your phones, and all of them. What can we do? Let's just try very politely to explain the situation. What we try to do is to create more A schools with the E-blocks. And that's one of my to implement all of it, to run the whole system, to demonstrate that yes, more A schools. And it doesn't matter whether they are boarding or D, but the rest they say is history. From who we are, and with everybody's support, we'll do the best we can. Thank you all very much.
All right, so that's Professor Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, addressing some few issues with respect to the computer placement system, selection placement system. And the Education Minister, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, also veered off a little bit and spoke about some political support for Professor Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman.
It is my prayer that God will give you long life and good health, that probably you will be elevated to become the first female president. I've been in cabinet with you, at least the first session of the cabinet and the second session of the cabinet. And I can say without fear of contradiction that you remain an unquestioned champion of education and gender rights and gender interests and inclusiveness generally in the pursuit of government policy.
Right, so that day, Haruna Iddrisu, I'll ask the Global Info Analytic gentleman when he comes on Zoom this evening about this political support. Haruna Iddrisu, who has been ticked by Global Info Analytics to be leading the jostling for the flag bearership for the NDC party. He seems to have thrown his support for Professor Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman, the Vice President. So then we'll see how things will go. People are really pushing for the flag bearership slot. But this evening, let's do some more stories on Galamsey fight, because the small-scale miners reject calls for a state of emergency. They say no, lie. All right, so I'll be showing you that video pretty shortly.
The National Small-Scale Miners Association has unveiled a task force with the aim of complementing the government's existing anti-galamsey interventions. President of the association, Michael Kujupepra, says the task force is to complement existing government efforts in tackling illegal mining.
The task force are members of our association, and we have mandated them to go on the various water bodies to make sure that any person who is found on the water bodies mining with impunity will be cleared from these various places. More so, when the media is talking about illegal mining, they box small-scale miners and illegal miners. One, there's a distinction between anybody who is engaging in illegal mining and somebody who has acquired a license to mine. The methodologies are different in the sense that somebody who is mining on the belly of a river has never been licensed to mine. So we are going to inaugurate this task force to make sure that anybody who is on this water body is being cleared of.
Michael Pepra says the task force will work closely with state institutions to monitor mining activities, sensitize communities, and promote responsible small-scale mining practices.
We are in the communities and we know where these people are. And in so doing, the task force will work with the media so that people would understand the need to make sure that the people who are on the various water bodies are being cleared off. Because when the pressure comes, people always box small-scale miners and illegal miners. And that is what we want to let the country and guests to know, that small-scale miners are Ghanaians who have acquired their license and they are mining in the frame of the law. So anybody who is being seen mining with impunity and destroying our various water bodies, this task force is mandated to make sure these people are cleared off.
Meanwhile, the debate on the declaration of a state of emergency on galamsey operations has intensified in recent weeks as CSOs sound the alarm at the destruction of forests, rivers and farmlands. The small-scale miners group, however, emphasized that a state of emergency could lead to heightened security crackdowns without addressing the root causes of illegal mining, such as unemployment and weak enforcement of mining regulations. According to them, such measures risk stifling legitimate small-scale mining operations and derailing progress made in the sector.
We don't support the state of emergency in the sense that it's a lazy man's approach. In 2017-2019, the previous government initiated a partial state of emergency. That is the time Ghana became the leading producer of gold, and that is the time people were in the forest reserve mining with impunity. At the end of the day, the military that were sent to go and help in salvage the issue were accomplices in that situation. Ghana is not in a dire situation, and as a matter of fact, these things can be resolved. One, by using the peer review system. Small-scale miners are going to be the watchdogs in the various community, and by using the bottom-up approach, we can at least make a better impact in this galamsey problem.
For Joy News, Nana Boachidanko Yadom, Kumasi.
All right, so saying a very big thank you to Joy News for that very update. And this is NSG News here on YouTube. We are streaming live. My name is Kofi Asante-Mensah, and this is Pulse of the Week. And here we analyze, break down the issues, and come to you with much information with respect to what is happening in our country. I mean, the very major stories, and we'll break them down for you with our experts. And we have the former Vice President and also former flag bearer for the opposition New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is claiming that the current President John Dramani Mahama lied through his teeth with respect to the COVID-19 impact and the Russia-Ukraine war impact on Ghana.
Na niema buo akosoro pa from 2022 COVID impacts no ebaye no Ukraine war and COVID ema niema buo ekosoro 2024 election Mungina mo kai say na ye ka say abdia esi ye no na niema buo ekosoro Ghana ha nyina eye COVID na ɛbaeɛ a ɛma nipa nneɛma boɔ ɛkɔɔ soro ɛne Russia Ukraine war. Yɛkaa saa deɛ no ɔmampanyin Mahama ne NDC ɔmo kaa sɛ yɛtwa ntorɔ ɔmo se COVID nsa nnimu at all ɛnyɛ saa na ɔmo kaeɛ ɔmo se ɛyɛ economic mismanagement ɛnyɛ saa na ɔmo kaeɛ ɛsɛ COVID ɛnyɛ a factor. Me te say me kan say I think nra ena omampanyin echo New York ena omo okoka say Africa nyina niema bo echo soro because of COVID. Semot mwati o say COVID ninti ena niema bo echo soro o say a lot of your effort at reduce poverty over 10 years or 20 years. COVID no the sa effort ni nyina aba form in just 2 years. Sa no kind. Enti sa onim sa but wanka election no. Enye sa onim ni kure no ba wanka yen yehu problem no. Omo ehu problem no enti nyame adom obi abehu bebi anekore ne da enti 2028 yensesan ya adwen yemfa emma Dr. Bawumia ene MPP na yemfa economic management no enkoso because we got it right.
All right, so that is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia still campaigning, and I understand Dr. Educhum is also in the Ashanti region. He has launched what he calls the Hope Campaign. Kennedy Upon, where are you? And Dr. Brian, where are all of you? All right, but it's good. All right, let's talk about ECG, because ECG insists proposed tariff hike may not necessarily increase consumer bills.
Big topical issue. I would like one of my directors give us a small presentation on it. But before he comes, I want to say that ECG has asked for a certain percentage increase in the distribution service charge, not in how much customers will pay us. And so ECG is not asking that customers' tariff should be increased by 220%. Absolutely not. And what we are asking for can even be done without any corresponding in the end user tariff. We are.
Can you repeat that? Please capture it. Can you replace the mic for us?
Okay, so let me repeat that. So the current end user tariff, we see a distortion. The distribution service charge, in other words, the component of the tariff that ECG comes to ECG, is only right now 12%. And it should be around 40%. So the tariff is heavily distorted against distribution. And we are appealing to the PURC to correct that distortion. So the distribution service charge can't go up without necessarily increasing the end user tariff. But my colleagues will do a presentation on that.
All right, so that's the ECG. Of course, they are saying those mason, if you like, containers, they have found them. So that's very, very key, and that's why you have it there as part of our subtitle over there. And we will do our very final story, then we'll settle down for some discussion here on NSG News Pulse of the Week. And with yours truly, Kofi Asante Mensah, and we are streaming live on YouTube, and the channel's name is NSG News TV. Please type NSG News TV, and you will have us to watch live because we are streaming right now. Apostle Tete Ofe says Ghana cannot continue to rely on political party manifestos to rebuild the nation. He happens to be the Vice Chancellor for Gold Coast University, and he made these remarks at an event.
Chancellor of the Gold Coast University, Bishop Dr. Gideon Tete Ofe, is calling for bold reforms in the country's governance and education systems, warning that the nation cannot continue to rely on party manifestos in place of a unified national development agenda. Speaking at the Executive at 40 conclave, he describes Ghana's infrastructure system as broken and stressed the urgent need to raise leaders capable of rebuilding the nation.
We have to redefine leadership. Currently, we look at leadership as position that brings us possession and that makes us powerful. So for many people in Ghana, leadership is position, possession, and power. But we have to redefine leadership to service, sincerity, and sacrifice. If this nation will go anywhere, we are looking for leaders who are willing to serve, leaders who are sincere, and leaders who are willing to sacrifice for the future of this country. And we came to meet a country that was prosperous. Growing up, we had trains. My father used to travel on trains to Accra and back to Kumasi. We don't have all those things. Again, the infrastructure of this country is down. We need new breed of leaders who will sacrifice for the next generation of this country.
He also called for a comprehensive reform into the educational sector, emphasizing the need to prepare young people as nation builders rather than producing graduates who merely pursue courses for the sake of certification.
So majority of the people in this country, our population is the youth. So that is a huge potential for this country to harness, develop, and deploy. And this we can do through our educational system. We need to develop courses that help unearth the leadership potential of the young people that we have as a country. We are blessed to have very young people who are intelligent, young people who are ambitious. All they are looking for is for us to create the opportunities for them to be able to develop their potentials and to be able to live to their full potential. And this we can do through the kind of courses that we run in our universities. And that's why I think that University of Gold Coast is a blessing to this country, because we are responding to the need to not just manage potential, not just manage performance, but discover, develop, and deploy the potentials of the next generation.
The Executive at 40.
All right, so you had there Apostle Tete Ofe, Gideon Tete Ofe, and Vice Chancellor for the Gold Coast University. It's still Pulse of the Week with your man, Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is NSG News Channel TV. Please, we are streaming live on YouTube. Join us over there and leave some few comments, and we'll be glad to read them and share it with the rest of the world. It's Friday evening, the 26th day of September 2025. We are going for a quick break, and when I return, the man of the moment, Musa Dankwa, will join me for a brief discussion. Please stay.
Get used to it. I have stepped into my new beginning. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday of darkness is gone. A whole new beginning. Get used to it. I've stepped into my new level. See me watching me fly on eagle's wing. A whole new beginning. My new beginning. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday of darkness is gone. A whole new beginning. Get used to it. I've stepped into my new level. See me watching me fly on eagle's wing. A whole new beginning.
All right, so welcome back. It's still Pulse of the Week with your man Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is NSG News, and our channel's name on YouTube is NSG News TV. Please, we are streaming. Join us right now. Share our link, and we'll be glad you did that. Time to talk to the Executive Director for Global Info Analytics. In pretty shortly, we'll be talking to Mr. Musa Dankwa, because he's brought up a latest survey indicating the approval rate of John Dramani Mahama dwindling, taking some nosedive and going down. We'll be understanding from him the reasons behind all of this and do some few comparison, because the last time they did the same approval rating was around June or July, if my memory serves me right. He was around 70 something. I'll check for you. Now he's around 60 something. I would also check that for you. But the main man who did this very survey or research would be joining us pretty shortly to share details of this with us here on NSG News. But before he comes online, this is what we've been digging, and let's check this out. If the production can help us, they would put up this flyer to suggest to you what Musa Dankwa has been finding out. And the flyer is right here. It says in July, right there. Okay. All right, so in July, somewhere in July, Mr. John Dramani Mr. Musa Dankwa is on now. I hear from my production team. Mr. Musa Dankwa, good evening and welcome to the program. Hello, Mr. Musa Dankwa, you have to unmute for me. All right, getting Mr. Musa Dankwa right so we can hear his voice here on Pulse of the Week on NSG News with your man Kofi Asante Mensah. So the opinion poll is right here. I think in July 2025, he had some 71%, and this time around, he has gone to some 66%. If the data I have with me is correct. But the man who did this very survey is pretty soon joining us to share details with us. Mr. Musa Dankwa, if you are on, good evening and welcome to the program. All right, so we'll get Mr. Musa Dankwa on this. But the fact is, what is accounting for the drop of the approval rate of John Dramani Mahama? I accept that we have over 60%. That is a remarkable percentage, far above good or excellent. Not average, it's far above average, yes. So if somewhere 60 and up or 60 plus is quite a good mark. But if some approve of John Dramani Mahama around 70% thereabout in July, and just a few months he declines to 60 thereabout, what is accounting for this? Well, Mr. Musa Dankwa is on, and we would get details from Mr. Musa Dankwa. Mr. Musa Dankwa, it's a Friday evening. We don't intend to take a lot of your time. Please welcome to the program, Mr. Musa Dankwa. All right, so it looks like Mr. Musa Dankwa is having some few challenges, and he will be joining me pretty shortly, and we would have this very discussion. Nonetheless, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was all the way in UK addressing the 80th anniversary of the UN General Assembly, and he made some profound statements, some historic statements, and I have all those details here for you. As we await Mr. Musa Dankwa, I would love to share some of them with you, because he mentioned over there the performance of the Ghanaian cedi and what some institution called junk economy has been approved, and its credit rating has gone up. And John Mahama touted the positives of the Ghana CD over there at the UN General Assembly. He also spoke about reasons why the UN itself, after 80 years of its existence, needs a reset of its own. Yes, he is resetting Ghana, at least according to John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. They are resetting Ghana, and the UN, the United Nations General Assembly, also needs a reset of a sort. So the reset agenda was taken to the United Nations. He also spoke about climate change, indicating to the fact that the world is losing the fight against climate change. Right, Mr. Musa Dankwa is on. All right, I think we can take a look at what John Dramani Mahama said
Madam
over there at
President,
the.
Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. At this 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, I'd like to speak about Africa's role in the future of this organization. However, it's impossible to do that without first considering the collective role that Africa played in its founding, which was small and relatively insignificant. Of the 51 member states involved in the founding of the United Nations in 1945, only 4 were African: Egypt, Ethiopia, Liberia, and South Africa. It is important to point out that the United Nations came into being in the aftermath of World War II because of the inability of its predecessor, the League of Nations, to avert a large-scale global conflict, which had been its guiding purpose when it was founded in 1920 at the end of the First World War. Out of the 42 founding member states of the League of Nations, only 3 were African: Liberia, the Union of South Africa, and Ethiopia. Egypt was to join later in 1937. Africa's overall participation in the organization's founding was minimal and relatively unimportant. That's because before all the other talks and meetings, representatives from a group of 14 nations gathered in Berlin for a series of discussions that began in 1884 and which led to the partitioning and formal colonization of the African continent, which is also called the Scramble for Africa. It has famously been written that past is prologue. Well, in the past, the majority of the 54 nations that now comprise Africa were never offered a seat at the table where plans for a new world order were being drawn. But, Madam President, as fate would have it, the tables are turning, and Africa's role in the authorship of whatever is yet to come for this world is going to be huge, and it will be consequential. According to this organization's own projections, by the year 2050, more than 25% of the world's population is expected to come from the African continent. Additionally, by 2050, 1/3 of all young people aged between 15 to 24 will be residing on the African continent. So you see, the future of this world is African. Allow me to say this once again a little louder for those of you in the back. The future is African. Already today, Africa is a catalyst for human potential and development, as well as for economic reform and ecological stability.
All right, so that's His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama over there, and that's quite profound. But we would have a lot to listen to with respect to John Dramani Mahama this evening. But in the same vein, let's have some time to talk to Mr. Musa Dankwa this evening on his latest polls. Okay, Mr. Musa Dankwa, I believe we have been able to solve this now, and I pray I can hear you this evening. Mr. Musa Dankwa, good evening. Unfortunately, I can't hear you. Wow. I don't know if you have muted already.
No, I have muted.
Oh, yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. Good evening to
you. Grateful. Good evening, sir. I hope you're doing well, sir.
I'm doing very great. Thank you.
Right. Now let's get into it and find out what informed the, if you like, the drop of approval rate for President John Dramani Mahama. What really informed it? Take us through it one after the other, please.
All right. Thank you very much for having me on this topic. There are few leads that we can use to conclude why his numbers dropped. First, if you look at the proportion of people who said Ghana is headed in the right direction, it has declined compared to last period, down about 5 points. And generally, when people are not happy with certain situations around the country, either from your actions or inactions, they react. So the first signal came from the people who are saying that the country is in the right direction. That number has dropped, even though it's still in the high 60s. Unfortunately, that have affected Bahama's performance in the sense that we also saw additional evidence in the data. Among those who said the government is performing well, those who said very good or good has declined by, I think, 5% or so compared to the last period. And then you look at people who say that the government is doing enough in fighting corruption. That has declined as well. Now, these can be linked to a number of factors. One, people are a bit impatient about the progress being made in terms of the oral, the arrest, prosecution of people who may have been involved in acts that are unlawful, who may have taken money that belongs to the state. People have not seen a lot happening in that front, and they are getting a bit impatient. So that is one of the reasons why we are seeing that. And then secondly, the issue of Galamsey has been heightened in recent times, and that has really affected John Mahama's standing in the public, because if you listen to the rhetoric that they were making in the opposition, it seems to have changed slightly or significantly around this time. People are not happy with what they are seeing in the fight against Galamsey. And then you see a small slide in the value of the cedi in the last month. And that may have also made people a bit jittery in terms of the outlook for this country. So all these factors have accounted for the decline in John Mahama's performance.
That's quite amazing. It simply means the honeymoon is over.
You can't say so until you have a trend. Usually, if something happens for the first time, a decline for the first time, it's not a trend. Second time isn't a trend. But if it happens 3 consecutive times, then you can say that certainly it is over.
So this is the very first time. So we can't make those conclusions.
Absolutely. Even though he has declined, it is still above his first poll that was taken in April, which was around 66%. Now it's around 67%. So it's still a point higher than where he was in April.
But in July, he was around 70 something, right?
Yes, 73%. And now 6.7, a decline of 6%.
Wow.
It's quite steep. It is quite steep.
Right. If you happen to advise His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, what would you tell him on a one-on-one basis? Or if you have to talk to somebody powerful who can talk to John Mahama, what would you tell me based on this survey or these polls?
Look, I don't advise politicians. They have their own advisors. But what I will tell him is that look at the data. Look at the data. And possibly if they could do their own extensive survey about Galamsey, about this oral issue, that would be very helpful for them to understand the scale of people's anger and anxiety.
Now, take me through the exact questionnaire this very September you encountered, and how many respondents and the questionnaire exactly, because I want to understand some few things. Take me through the questionnaire.
No, there are a series of questions, plenty of questions. In fact, more than 50 questions we asked people.
Wow.
So I'll not be able to go through all the questionnaire here, but what you see is the first part of it. But we engaged close to 9,500 Ghanaians across 83 constituencies in all the 16 regions this time around. The sampling approach was random sampling, and then also some part of it were done by telephone. About 2,000 were done by telephone, and 7,500 face-to-face.
Wow.
But usually there are certain questions that we keep asking all the time. What do you think about the direction of the country? Do you approve or disapprove the performance of the president? What about the government as a whole? What is your economic condition compared to last year? And then also we ask them whether they are optimistic things will improve in the next 12 months. These are the kind of things we ask all the time, but then we throw in new things that are emerging. And also we did what we call the MPP NDC primaries. That portion of the report will be out next week, Monday.
Wow, you did something on the New Patriotic Party primaries?
Yes, and then the NDC as well.
Oh, and the NDC, because I was going to get there. I told my viewers, when you come on the line, I'll be asking you, because Haruna Iddrisu just threw a support for Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, Professor. But before I'll get to that bit, with respect to this approval rate of John Dramani Mahama, when are you heading for another one, in exception of this September approval rating you've done? Would you do some in October next month, or it will take some time?
No, it will be the next 3 months, which will be around December, and then the report will be out in January.
Okay.
We do this every 3 months.
Every 3 months. I pray they take some few advice from this real data you've showed them, with the approval rate of John Dramani Mahama across board, across some 83, you say, constituencies, and sampled over 9,500, and some 2,000 on telephone, and some 5,000 or 7,000 on face-to-face basis. Now, let's briefly talk about the NDC and MPP presidential race. Maybe the MPP would begin. We understand on Wednesday, was it Wednesday or Tuesday, they went for vetting. What are you surveying on the grounds relating to the MPP primaries?
I mean, we're asking voters who they would like or prefer to lead MPP in the next election. And then if there's no clear winner and there's a runoff between Bawumia and Kennedy, who would they vote for? Basically, these were the two questions regarding the MPP race.
Well, and who would they be voting for per what you've been asking them? Looks like we don't have Mr. Musa Danko currently.
I'm still here.
You're back.
Here. I'm still here. Yes.
All right, I can hear you now. So I was trying to find out what your findings were with respect to between Ken and Bawumia, who they will be voting for per your survey.
I think we'll wait until Monday when the full report will be out so that we can discuss it. At the moment, it's confidential. We have not put it out there yet.
But of course, I know already it's going to be Bawumia, because you've shared this with us before, I think within last month, that everything shows that Bawumia will win.
Yes, in the previous one, Bawumia was leading and then Kennedy. But we have to wait to see what happens in the next one, whether there has been any change at all.
I'll be waiting, and I'm sure by Wednesday we may have it, so we can also have a bite of it here at NSG News. But talk to me also about the NDC primaries. Early on, I was sharing with you that Haruna Iddrisu, whom you marked or tipped to be leading the primaries with Okudzeto Ablakwa, Julius Debra, and the rest, he is throwing his support for Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, indicating that he wishes Professor will become the first female president of this country.
No, I was trying to understand his thought and also the strategy behind what he's saying. From our side, we have taken Professor out of the race for some reasons. One, I think, health grounds, and two, age-wise. I think she'll be around 78 or thereabout in 2028. And if you look at the data we have currently, about 64% of voters. So that is dynamics that will not really work in her favor. And having had the health scare recently, I'll be very, very surprised if she's able to run for the NDC flag bearership.
Wow. So Haruna is already throwing the support, but please share with me on the ground, what are people saying? Because I understand you did both NDC and MPP. On the ground, what are people saying?
You know, the MPP race is quite different from the NDC race. And if you look at what people are saying to us in the NDC race, I mean, nothing has changed significantly compared to what we did last time. Last time, Haruna was leading, and then you have Basiri Nketia, Atufosin, Julius Debra, and Ablakwa. Now we have thrown in more candidates in the race. So there's been a slight movement here and there, but we'll wait until Monday to see whether it has shifted significantly or just around the edges.
Wow. Is there still Nketia in the race?
Yes, everybody that you can think of is in the race.
All right. Mr. Musa Dankwa, a pleasure to have you this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for your time. Grateful.
Thank you.
So, viewers, that was Mr. Musa Dankwa, Executive Director for Global Info Analytics, and sharing his survey report with us in details, what he has been telling us about the approval rate of John Dramani Mahama, and also some few things has to do with the New Patriotic Party report, and also the NDC. And I think we'll be here by next week, Wednesday. We'll be here to serve you Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition, so we can grab some more details with respect to the primaries, the presidential primaries, I must say, of both sides, NDC and MPP, and we would break it down for your understanding. Thank you very much. Let's go for a breather. When I return, there's more for you. Please stay with me. Hi there, welcome back. It's still Pulse of the Week, and this is the Friday 26th of September 2025 edition, and this is NSG News live on YouTube, and our channel's name is NSG News TV. Please search for us, like our page, and share with your friends. Share on all your social media platforms. If you have something you want us to talk about, investigate, and throw some light on it, please share it with us here on NSG News at our comment section, or you can give us a message. And our channel is NSG News TV. And my name is Kofi Asante Mensah. Like I was mentioning earlier on, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has been with the UN General Assembly, and he has been talking and making some profound remarks. And he touted praises for the Ghana cedi, also called that we should do more with the battle of the climate change. And nowadays, sometimes it can be cloudy in parts of Accra, and other parts it will be so dry, and some parts will be raining. So we can, just here in Accra, not to talk of central region and Accra or eastern region and Accra, no, it's just within this Accra enclave. And the climate has really, really changed. And he's saying we should do more in our battle for the climate changes. We are losing the battle. Let's do more over there. He also called on the UN General Assembly to consider a permanent seat for the African continent, so we can have some veto powers like the other countries, France, US, UK, and Germany, and what have you. They all have been joined. We're built to have Mr. Ibad Ibrahim for deeper analysis on this very subject. But unfortunately, he can't join us today. We will settle down on Wednesday to do more of this. Break John Dramani Mahama's speech into pieces. But it was quite amazing when the president for Israel, Netanyahu, took the stage to address the August House, and people walked away. They were clapping and they were walking away. They were just going. It was quite funny. And what an embarrassment. He tried to explain the cause of what is happening on the Gaza stretch of this land and what is happening with the Palestinians. But all the same, John Mahama also called for crimes in Gaza to stop, and some few things, the crisis in Sudan to also stop. He called for the removal of blockades between Cuba and all of that. He called for the research of the global financial architecture. He says it is against Africa. Yes, he says it's against Africa, so and we should change it after 80 years. Yes, the powers that be that makes the global financial architecture should be changing it. Okay. He also indicated that the global north emits 75% more greenhouse gases than the global south. We here at the global south emit very, very less. So the pressure that comes with it, we bury them more because they up there at the Western world have a lot of machines and gadgets to do away. And they emit a lot more, 75%. We cannot normalize criminality, hatred, xenophobia, and racism. These are words of John Dramani Mahama. And I've been asking, who is the architect of John Dramani Mahama's statement? Because the statement was very, very powerful. He spoke also about slave trade and reasons why some reparations would have to happen, and some, if you like, payments and what have you would have to happen. He also said the future is Africa, and he even made mention of saying it a little more louder for those at the back to hear it and hear it well. The future is Africa. So the youth of Africa, let's rise and make it happen. It's not none other reason that our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, profoundly said the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. He made it clear that they should leave us. Let us be economically and physically independent. Let Africans make mistakes, and let's create our own African personalities so we will be respected across board wherever you go. You don't say, look at that black man or look at that African, the poor African, showing pictures of poverty and what have you in Africa. That's not good. So Africa must exercise sovereignty over its natural resources. These are words of John Dramani Mahama, speaking boldly like Kwame Nkrumah or some great African leaders who have passed on. We are tired of huge foreign cultural natural resources concession areas. John Dramani Mahama sounding the bells of Africans being tired of what the Western world is doing to us. We would have time to dissect more into what John Dramani Mahama said. I would love you to listen to or watch what happened relating to the Israel's president and Netanyahu when he mounted the podium to speak, and everybody, delegation or delegates at the assembly started clapping and started to walk away. Well, let's watch this.
Please, order in the hall. 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 Please order in the hall and please be seated.
So you see, they were still asking that there should be order,
Please.
but people were not hearing. Quite intriguing, amazing over there at the UN General Assembly, the 80th anniversary, and those are some few things. I think several African speakers also spoke, but we would have time to deal with all of them one after the other here on Pulse of the Week. Right, just a breather. When I return, we'll be wrapping up the show for today, Friday, 26th of September 2025. And you know, I've been advocating for you to always go on YouTube and all digital platforms and go and search for Ziba. All right, such a beautiful voice singing gospel praises and gospel worship and lifting up the kingdom of God. Please enjoy this one from Ziba. And when I return, we'll be wrapping up the show for you here on Pulse of the Week. Please stay.
Oh, no beginning. Get used to it. I have stepped into my new beginning. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday of darkness is gone. A whole new beginning. Get used to it. I've stepped into my new level. See me walking me flying on eagle's wing. A whole new beginning. A new beginning.
All right, so welcome back. It's the Pulse of the Week here on NSG News, and this is how we wrap up for today, 26th of September 2025. It's a Friday evening. Thank you very much for being there for us. www.nsgnews.com. Please, our Facebook channel is NSG News TV. Always like our page. Share it with your friends. Put it on your status and let your friends know that we are here to stay. Thank you very much. And we have been here to serve you relating to major stories happening in our country this week, which has to do with one, the Ghana Law Society trying to break the front of the Ghana Bar Association. They paid a courtesy call to the nominee of Chief Justice, or the Chief Justice nominee, what's his name? His name will come. That is Bafo Boni. Yes, Bafo Boni. They paid a courtesy call to him. But don't forget, they are also in court, at the Supreme Court, trying to find understanding as to the constitutional provision that set up the GBA, the Ghana Bar Association. They say, as it is now, what the Constitution says we should have as Ghana Bar Association, it is not that which is there. So they want some few understanding or meanings to it. And Martin Kpebu, I know, he's been talking about it. 3 reasons I support Bafo Boni's nomination as Chief Justice. Martin Kpebu also supports it so much. And we brought you news about it. Only John Mahama can determine. Who becomes NDC's flag bearer. We also brought you stories about Gbande, Mustafa Gbande, indicating that John Dramani Mahama would not be contesting. Nonetheless, he would be taking, he will matter in the decision making of that very decision of flag bearership for the NDC. My name is Right, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to the midweek edition of Pulse of the Week. My name is yours truly, Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is NSG News. This is your platform with integrity and discipline, you can say. Welcome, it's 24th of September 2025, and this is Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition, where we digest and focus on major news stories, break it down for your consumption. Welcome to the bulletin. We are streaming live on YouTube, and it is NSG News TV. Please join us, share with us your comment, and share the link with your other colleagues and your friends. Wherever you are, we say welcome and welcome on board. From our luxurious studios here in Accra, Ghana, Amahia in Adenta, we say good evening and welcome. Just after this breather, we get into our major news update or the headlines for you. All right, so welcome back. It's still Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition here on NSG News TV on YouTube. And we are streaming. Please join us and share your comment with us. We'll be happy to read it to the rest of the world. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is how I say welcome. We'll begin rather on a very increment note, because the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, has announced a 1.14% increase in electricity tariffs effective October 1, 2025, while water tariffs remain unchanged. So we have some 1.14 increase in electricity tariffs from October 1. Please note, you'll be paying some more. Let's continue with combating crime. 10 suspects have been arrested and dismantled. I must say 10 suspects have been arrested and 3 shot dead as police dismantle a notorious gang behind rural bank robberies across the country. And the police IGP has this to say.
Obuase and Boho near Kronom, these are the hideouts of these criminals. I'm delighted to announce that we have successfully dismantled the gang behind all these robberies. So far, we have successfully arrested arrested 10 suspects. 3 other suspects were shot dead in the course of the operation during a shootout with the police. We have launched a manhunt for the remaining suspects who are on the run. We will not stop until we get them arrested. We were also able to recover 14 weapons, including AK-47 rifles, pump-action guns, a single-barrel gun, pistols, ammunition, vehicles, mobile phones, among others. The Director General CID will give you the full details of the operation, the suspects, exhibits, among others. Commendations. I would like to acknowledge and commend Ashanti Regional Police Commander and his intelligence team for the role they played to ensure the success of this operation. Commander, get up. Get up. Let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. Thank you. I would also like to commend all other officers who played critical roles towards this successful operation. I wish to sincerely thank members of the public who volunteered credible information to the police that contributed to this breakthrough. I want to take this opportunity to call all members of the public to support the police with information for successful investigation. Let us all be vigilant members of the community and report any suspicious persons or activities to the police. As you may be aware, The service is committed to rewarding credible information shared to support our investigation. In conclusion, I would like to assure you that the police will continue to make life uncomfortable for criminal elements in our society. We will continue to pursue you till you are brought to justice. On this note,
all right, so that was the police IGP, Yohonu, commending his men over there, and that's so nice. The criminals, please, we are coming after you. Wherever you are, we are coming after you. Let's do some more stories over here. This is Pulse of the Week, and we are streaming live on YouTube, and it is NSG News TV. Please get in touch, share a few comments with us, and we'll share it with the rest of the world over here. There is a survey by the Global Info Analytics, and it says a new Global Info Analytics survey shows President John Dramani Maham's early honeymoon period fading as his job performance approval ratings slip. And we'll get you details of it very more when we get the Executive Director for Global Info Analytics to dig deeper with us here on NSG News Pulse of the Week. Let's do some more politics because the new Patriotic Party flag bearership race is on. Kennedy Ejapon says they know he is ready to become president when he went for the vetting just yesterday. Take a look.
Second time coming to such a vetting. Was it any different from the first time you came?
No, not really. You know, I was prepared. So I believe I answered all the questions. And they know I'm ready to be president of this country. Yeah.
But what were your major takeaways from today's session?
So they really wanted to know why I want to be president and my vision for the country, as well as the party.
Okay.
So I enumerated a couple of points and how I'm going to address some problems. So basically that was the interview. They know I've been true and true party man for so long. So I didn't face any serious questions, or they didn't antagonize me because they know my potential already. But they asked tangible and reasonable, I would say reasonable questions. They were not hostile to me, and I was free to answer their questions.
I imagine your plan to use the Asian model to develop Ghana.
I said it there too. I told them and explained what I mean by Asian model. You know, I have seen some proof. Let me explain further. The Asian model, what they did that time when they decided to compete with Europe and America was that they identified potential talents and potential businessmen and funded their projects like Daewoo, Hyundai, Samsung in Korea, for instance. They made sure, made conscious efforts to support them by giving them loans. And the loans, what they did was that if Mr. Honorable Kwaku Kwarteng decides to build this building, they will ask for the cost of the raw materials and where he's going to get the raw materials from. The government.
Right, so that was Kennedy Akompreko Ejapon, and his slogan is "Get Connected." Let's do some more stories relating to the vetting of the new Patriotic Party flag bearers as aspirants. And I must say, Dr. Brian Champon insists a presidential candidate must be resourceful and adds that jobs are part of the campaign.
The final one, you've been very vocal, especially on the campaign trail, where some of the aspirants have said that you are throwing subtle jabs at them. There have been responses as well. If given the chance, some of the things that you said, would you retract them?
There have been a few jabs, and I think there will be a couple more. We are embarking on a campaign. I mean, I will be hit. Others will be hit. It's part of the campaign. It's normal in our politics. I said that wisdom must be applied for you to know the line beyond which you are infuriating somebody. That will make unity post-election difficult. But the regular jabs of pecking people's faces, I mean, those ones will happen. We just have to make sure that we don't poke the eyes, and that will become a problem.
Let's take the video for the one he said, you must be very resourceful in terms of money.
Territory party headquarters. I've been here, a member of this party. I met with the committee and standard questions. It's a vetting. It's not an interview. It's a vetting to see whether I qualify. And as a member of parliament, it's very easy to qualify for such a vetting unless you have any other thing against you. And I don't have anything. So we just had a normal conversation about how we're going to move our party forward.
There was an issue about development fee, 4 million Ghana cedis, which some of the aspirants raised concerns about, saying that is the party now being sold to the highest bidder? Why is the party charging development fee? You are one of the candidates to lead the party. What do you have to say about the development fee?
Well, as far as I am concerned, it was a requirement that came with the forms that we have to pay a development fee. If you are a presidential candidate, you have to be able to demonstrate resourcefulness, to be able to mobilize what is required to fulfill the party's requirement. It has been done. As to whether it is the right amount, fair amount, exorbitant or low, that is up to the party people and the party leadership to decide. I am not for, against. I'm very neutral about it. I think that my team have fulfilled that requirement, and we are ready to embark on our campaign.
I'm sure you asked about your vision for the country. What did you tell the panel?
Well, I don't think that it came in that form. The vetting largely is based on your qualification to be a presidential candidate and to satisfy the constitutional requirement. That is what the vetting is about. There were some side questions more about how we bring the party together, or the vision on how, when you become a candidate, unite us to win. Those questions were answered square and fair. But I took an oath in there not to discuss the details of the vetting committee. If you are to ask me on another forum of my vision for the party and the country, I will be able to tell you. But for the things that happen inside the vetting committee, because of the oath that I took, you may have to.
All right, so that was the Abetifi constituency member of parliament and former Greek minister Brian Acheampong. The 4 million, he says he has settled it. The development fee, no problem at all. You must be resourceful. You should know that. Let's move on, because his advisor, the campaign advisor for Dr. Brian Acheampong, his name is Andy Appiah-Kubi. He has revealed the biggest disappointment in the previous government was a lack of discipline.
He's a trained soldier, and therefore he expects discipline in even the campaign and in people who come into public office. My personal singular disappointment in previous government has been the absence of discipline in office. And he represents the disciplined one who will expect everybody as an appointee to exalt his virtue as a disciplinarian, and for that matter also deliver as a public officer with all the levels of discipline that one would expect in administration. So he is somebody that will bring us the economic benefits, the social benefits. He is also a philanthropist, and we know it. Having sponsored a lot of people in education and also sponsored a lot of people to go through healthcare. So he is the person with multiple attributes, but where we can sell to the rest of the country for them to also build confidence, faith in him, for us to be able to achieve a victory in 2028. If there is anything that you see, because I want to commission all of you as part of the campaign, if there is anything that you see that you find inconsistent with expectations, please do not hesitate to call our attention.
All right, so that was Andy Apiakobi making some frantic efforts to convince even media personnel to be part of the campaign team of Brian Acheampong. Quite interesting. Still on Pulse of the Week here on NSG News, and we are broadcasting live from our Amahia studios here in Accra, Ghana. Wherever you are watching us from, thank you. Please share the link because we are streaming live on YouTube, and it is NSG TV, NSG News TV, and that is our channel's name. Let's do some more stories on this NPP vetting, because former flag bearer and former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has expressed satisfaction with the vetting committee.
I take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here. As you know, I have just been in front of our vetting committee, and we have had very fruitful discussions. They've asked many questions, and I have answered those questions. So I'm very satisfied with my vetting, and I pray that everything is okay. I hope the committee is just as satisfied as I am. I think they will be. But I am very thankful to all of you for making the time to wait for us. I want to thank the rank and file of the party, and I think from vetting we are entering the country to campaign. We are not taking anything for granted. We have to campaign very hard, sell our ideas, and sell the MPP so that we can secure this nomination and then proceed for the 2028 election. I want to thank all of you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia expressing some satisfaction and giving thanks to everybody over there. Let's continue still with the opposition New Patriotic Party, because the youth wing has submitted a petition to the police and the president as part of their Yensro Ehunehuna demonstration.
I took my phone and I called one of our party lawyers, Counsel Afuakwa, who came and stood in as counsel for these ladies. Mr. President, it will interest you to know that these ladies were kept for 96 hours before they were put before court. And even when we told the court that the 48-hour rule had been broken, the court still admitted them into police custody for 2 weeks. Mr. President, this is so gross, so wrong. We cannot treat the very young people, the budding, teeming youth of our country in such a disgusting manner. And I know that in your conscience, you know it is not right. That is why we are appealing to you that call your state agencies to order the flagrant abuse of power, selective application of the law, selective injustice is becoming one too many. That endangers the democracy we are all enjoying. Your Excellency, this petition is yours to go through, and we demand of you to immediately ask the security agencies to stop the Rambo-style arrest of individuals and apply the law equitably and fairly, that MPP members are not second-class citizens of this country. We equally pay taxes. However, when NDC people are at fault with the law, they are treated with kiss gloves. Classical example being Tax and Hoodlums, who attacked Howard Kumsi and the rest at Ablekuma North in the rerun of the by-election. Recently, in Akwetia by-election, one of the communication officers in Ablekuma, in Ebuakwa North, threatened the life of the minority leader. The minority chief with Anodompre, Afenyo Markin, our national organizer, Nanabi, their lives. To date, a petition before the IGP, they have not been arrested. We saw your national vice chairman. Good morning, our colleagues from the media, the Ghana Police Service. First and foremost, we are grateful that you are here to receive our petition. We would have been happy if the IGP were here in person to receive the petition himself. However, we are optimistic that, and so would the message be transmitted to him. Our friends from the media, we have a petition for the IGP of the Republic of Ghana. As you're all aware, about 2 weeks ago, we announced that we will be having a protest against the Ghana police alongside other security agencies in the country, and also the presidency of the Republic of Ghana. We have grievances that we want to put before you, the security agencies of this country, and also the government. First and foremost, the name of our demo is Ehunahuna. And also, this is a petition by the New Patriotic Party to the office of the President and the Inspector General of Police. We have concerns that, one, there is selective application of the law in this country, which does not augur well for the building of a thriving and vibrant democracy. The New Patriotic Party handed over power to the National Democratic Congress on the 7th of January 2025 after a peaceful election and a peaceful transfer of power. However, afterwards, we have seen a pattern of harassment in the form of arrest of MPP people. In the petition, we have mentioned a number of people that the police and other security agencies have arrested for relatively unjustifiable reasons. I can mention but a few that of Adenta Kumi, Mohammed Amadou Sakor, who only made a Facebook post, and because of that he was taken into custody. I can mention Okatachie Afifa Mensa, who was also bundled by security forces after he had finished writing an exam and taken into custody. IGP, I can also mention Gordon Asare Bediakun, a journalist who was picked up for essentially no reason. Worst of all, we saw the police on a raid of a young man, Sir Obama. And IGP, it was sad to see that your heavily built men broke down.
Quite interesting. Let's do some UN stories, because President John Dramani Mahama addressed the UN General Assembly and delivered a keynote at the U.S. Center for Disease Control.
Your Excellency, the Chairperson of the African Union, Your Excellencies, colleagues, heads of state and government, Your Excellency, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission and Commissioners, Honorable Ministers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege for me to join you this afternoon under a theme that directly addresses Africa's future, that is securing our health sovereignty. We're called to address the challenges Africa faces today. The truth is stark. External funding for healthcare and humanitarian assistance is declining rapidly. The U.S. Congress in July cut $8 billion from the budget for U.S. international assistance. U.S. aid contracts worth $54 billion have been terminated. This is not peculiar to the U.S. alone. The NATO allies and Europe, in order to meet the target of 5% of GDP spending for defense, are all making cuts to their overseas development assistance. If we do not take our health destiny into our own hands by shaping new strategies and partnerships, our citizens will be left without medicines, without vaccines, and without hope. And there will be a reversal in the health outcomes in Africa. The meeting of the Committee of Heads of States and Government of the Africa CDC today is vital, because as heads of state, the responsibility of leadership in protecting the health and lives of our citizens rests directly on our shoulders. We must step up to the plate and redirect resources to where they matter most. We must cut wasteful expenditure and channel funds to improving healthcare facilities, training more health professionals, producing our own medicines and our own vaccines. In Ghana, we're not just talking about sovereignty, we're working to make it real. We've passed the Ghana Medical Trust Fund Act, which is a bold new program that provides sustainable financing for people battling with non-communicable diseases. We've set up our National Vaccine Institute, backed with seed money of 75 million Ghana cedis, to make Ghana a hub for vaccine research and manufacturing for our sub-region. We're soon to roll out our free primary health care program so that essential care is available to everyone without cost, without barriers, and without delay. Just this year, we uncapped the National Health Insurance Levy to restore 33.5 billion cedis, that's about $300 million of health funding, which was previously swept into the Consolidated Fund for Consumption. These are practical steps that demonstrate that where there's political will, sovereignty is achievable. Just last month at the African Health Sovereignty Summit in Accra, we launched the Accra Compact and the Accra Reset Agenda. The Accra Reset Agenda aims to transform the global governance structure amidst the current global uncertainty. And the starting point for this transformation is in the health sector. Africa must not only be invited to global health discussions, Africa must be a co-convener, we must be a co-designer, and a co-owner of the solutions and outcomes of these global fora. Today's meeting of the Committee of Heads of State and Government of Africa, CDC, is a place to carry this vision forward. And so when we go to Gavi, the Global Fund, or the Pandemic Fund, we must go as one Africa, united, determined, and demanding fairness and equity. In my closing call, colleagues, let us move from words to action. As the world steps back, let Africa step forward. Let us invest in our people's health by investing in our health systems.
So, that's John Dramani Mahama, all the way in the UN General Assembly, addressing the Disease Control Center, or the Control Disease Center. Let's do some more stories over here on NSG News Update with your man Kofi Asante-Mensah, streaming live on YouTube, and it is NSG News TV. Please check our channel out and you would love it. Spokesperson for the Bawumia campaign, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, is calling for boreholes to be provided in Galamsey affected communities to ease the water crisis.
The language and the posture that the government has taken, we believe that it is a posture that doesn't inspire hope and doesn't encourage us and give us the assurance that the government is willing and ready to deal with this Galamsey menace. As you can see, and I'm sure you've already gathered from the community, more than half, or about half of the central region currently do not have potable drinking water, because the Kwenyako water treatment plant has been shut down. The community members tell us that this is something they haven't experienced before. That they have never seen this Ayesu River here looking this way. Very, very bad. It's never been like this until about 2.5 months ago. The very painful aspect of it is that the community members, or even in this district, Agona East District, Agona West, Gomoa Central, and all of it adjoining districts, none of them have mining going on in their areas. And so you have a community that have nothing to do with mining. They don't know what gold is in terms of seeing raw gold. They have never been engaged in mining before. Right ahead of us here is somebody's farm, which we have to walk through and come here. And they have to suffer the consequences. So this community is struggling. About half of Central Region do not have potable water because there is active Galamsey going on in the Eastern Region, somewhere in the Ayesuano area, Enuma Pepem to be precise, where we are just coming from. And the repercussion or its negative effect is being felt by hundreds of thousands of people in close to about 11 other districts in the Central Region. Think about it. The mining is happening in the Eastern Region, and you have over 11 districts suffering the consequences when they have nothing to do with mining. Now, the government communications minister, Honorable Kwachio Fusu, tells us that we can only tell him that Galamsey is worsened if we show him proof. This morning, our friends from the media, the mission here is to present the proof to Honorable Kwachio Fusu, so he can pass it on to the president and the government, and let the NDC government understand that there is enough proof that Galamsey is worsened. And today, many more districts who hitherto 9 months ago were living their peaceful life and going about their lives without any stress cannot get water to drink because of the escalated nature of Galamsey across the country. We are worried because the NDC government has a record and history of always muddying our water bodies whenever they are in power. And we are not the ones saying it. The data proves it. Indeed, if you go to the Water Resources Commission website, there is enough evidence that shows that before 2010, when Galamsey escalated in the manner we are seeing today in this country, we had 40 water sites that were being tracked by the Water Resources Commission.
So, Miracles Abuaji over there, almost the same thing. Those guys, Sami Jefi pursued when they were in opposition. He has gone ahead to do almost the same thing, but that's fine. Still, on NSG News, let's do some more stories because there is some criminality and prosecution request from the Deputy NDC General Secretary Mustafa Bande. He has urged the special prosecutor to bring former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to face justice.
And go to heaven and come. Look, Ken Ofori-Atta is sitting in the US and pretending to the white people as if he have been victimized by this government and that he's innocent. Do you think Ken Ofori-Atta, is saying to the white people that, oh, they should help him and that he is being victimized by this government? We are going to put pressure on this, how do they call the man? This special prosecutor. If he cannot bring Ken Ofori-Atta, he should resign. Ken Ofori-Atta is a wanted fugitive of national consensus, including people in the NDC, the MPP. He has to be brought down to face justice. If we sit here and Yoko is arresting Ghanaians and extraditing them to US, and the US will not bring one wanted man, a man who has even punished our pensioners, taking their money, yet supervised every scandal that transpired in the Nana Ado's administration in the last 8 years. He has no business sitting there as the head of special prosecutor. Then we are going to stop Yoko from arresting, stolen cars. We can't be doing that. Only one man. Bring him. He is not sick. Bring him. Let him come and die here. We will attend his funeral. He's saying that when some people die, they will assume they are dead bodies, and we will be here to see Ken Ofori-Atta being prosecuted, whether they like it or not. And
right, Mustafa Bande over there. This is still Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition, and this has to do with the news update, what we call the headlines. And it's your man, Kofi Asante Mensah, from our studios here at Amahia in Accra. We'll be going for a quick breather. When we return, we have a session to continue. Please stay with us.
A whole new beginning. Get used to it. I have stepped into my new beginning. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday of darkness is gone. A whole new beginning. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get used to it. I've stepped into my new level. See me watching me flying on eagle's wing. A whole new beginning.
So Ziba over there with New Beginning. Please check the video out, and all her songs are over there. Please go and download, play, and enjoy it. A very powerful, inspirational gospel singer, Ziba. Let's settle down for our discussion tonight. Today we are looking at the Founders Day. You remember Monday was a holiday, and it was because Dr. Kwame Nkrumah marked his 116th birthday, 116. And the government, in part, the John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government, held what they termed as Nkrumah Fest at Nkrofo. We want to look at the significance of this very celebration. Is it worth it? We have social and developmental analyst, Mr. Ibad Ibrahim, joining us pretty shortly. He is also a security consultant, joining us this evening for some intellectual discussion. When we are done with that, we'll look at the protest. It looks like this week has become a week of protest, in the exception of Monday. Even on Monday, I think it began actually on Sunday, because the vigil of the Fix the Country Democracy Hub people started on Sunday and developed into Monday. And on Tuesday, the Yensro and Hunahuna demonstration also came up. So we'll look at the security implication of all of that. Don't forget, in the northern part of our country, some nurses who claim they have not been paid for some 8 to 9 months were also agitating. They were on the roads. And forget not also that the Teacher Education Workers Union, TEWU, they are actually on a strike. We'll have all those discussion over here. And on the burning issue this evening still, we'll talk about the nomination of Justice Bafo Boni. We'll look at his profile, who Justice Bafo Boni is and what credentials he brings on the table of the judiciary. And we'll have time to discuss who has a very powerful marketability impact on Ghanaians per the MPP vetting for the flag bearership slot. Welcome. Now, we'll go. Is Ibad ready? Not yet. All right. So let's pick some few video clips from the Nkrumah Fest ceremony, which was pursued on Monday, and they call it Nkrumah Fest. It was the 116th birthday of Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Please watch this. I'll be right back.
Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofibua, Honorable Samia Yaba Nkrumah, Deputy Minister of Health, Deputy Minister of Health, Mama Akwa. Let's go,
All right, so that's some of the highlights of the Nkrumah Fest held in his hometown. And we have our social, developmental, security analyst, Mr. Ibad Ibrahim, on Zoom. Mr. Ibad Ibrahim, good evening and welcome to the program.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And I can see you're outside. And being outside doesn't deter you from talking to us. I'm so happy with that.
Senior Kofi Asante. On my way to the airport, but I said, no, let me park at a pub or a restaurant and attend to my senior brother. I'm always grateful for the opportunity, and I felt it was important for me to put aside everything and then do this with you briefly. Then I proceed to the airport, sir.
I'm so grateful, and my viewers are also grateful. Thank you very much for being there for us. Let's talk about Kwame Nkrumah briefly, and the other subject also briefly, then you can make your way. Please talk to me. What is the significance of this very program? What do you make of this Nkrumah Fest as celebrated by this very government last Monday?
I think Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's body contained just too much. No matter the pages of history that the world dedicates to the life exploits, the toil and sweat and the sacrifices of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the story can never be told completely. He came at an era where gallant Africans were a rare commodity. He led this country to be the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence. That is how come Ghana can't forget him, Africa can't forget him, and the rest of the world cannot forget him. And so Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was just more than a leader. He was a leader who represented the vision of a continent. And I believe decades and centuries to come, the world will continue to celebrate the exploits of this great man. But beyond the pomp and pageantry, beyond the festivities, do we really take a minute or a moment to think about what Dr. Nkrumah really stood for, what his philosophy was, and how we can make his thoughts relevant in the 21st century? He lived in an era where there was no internet, but Dr. Nkrumah had a way of connecting the whole of Africa, even connecting people who were of African descent but were out of the continent. He was highly inspired by Marcus Garvey, W.E. Du Bois, and other gallant Pan-Africanists. So let's see how Gen Z get to know about the true exploits of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. At a time we are poo-pooing immigrants coming from the rest of Africa, Dr. Nkrumah represented bringing together Africa and not excommunicating or exorcising Africans. And so therefore, the Nkrumah's legacy can never be celebrated enough. But how do we make his thoughts relevant to the new generation so that as torchbearers who did the best they could, those of us who have come almost a century after them will continue to bear that torch and represent Africa and Pan-Africanism. So beyond the festivity, beyond the party, beyond the pomp and pageantry, beyond the conferences and workshops, are we really imbibing into our youth, the next generation of African leaders, the thoughts and philosophy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, so his legacy will continue to persist? That is the million-dollar question.
That's very good, and I think we should be pondering over that very stuff very importantly, because the borders dividing us as Africans is not the right way. But the key thing is this: the NDC government seems to align itself with the tenet of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and the NPP do not adhere him so much like that. Do you go for the founders with apostrophe, or after the apostrophe, before the apostrophe, or after the apostrophe? Which one should we go for?
It boils down to semantics. No doubt, it takes a tree for the rope to see the sky or get to the sky. Dr. Nkrumah did not take Ghana where he took us in a bike. Dr. Nkrumah, having left Accra as a teacher, went to the United States to study. And he couldn't have walked back into a country he had left for almost 12 years-ish, and then have got the impact he got later. But it took some people, it took some men of substance, like Pa Grant, who paid for his air flights. Other people, J.B. Dankwa, whose brain it was, to bring together the UGCC and others. But as history will have it, And there were points of dissonance, even though the point of convergence was that Ghana needed to be independent. But as to the timing and when Ghana should gain independence, there was some disagreement between these towering figures. So J.B. Danquah and other members of the Big Six felt that we could get independence in the shortest possible time. But Kwame Nkrumah said he wanted independence there and then. And so he seceded from the UGCC and established the CPP, which unfortunately is a pale shadow of what it represented during the time of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Maybe we'll delve into that. Every political party is claiming to be an Nkrumah case, but Nkrumah's party is ailing. Nkrumah's party is divided. Nkrumah's party is ill-funded. Nkrumah's party is almost going extinct. Nkrumah's party cannot even gain 1% of the popular votes that are cast in the Republic of Ghana. So the sum total of the disagreement was that Dr. Nkrumah at some point had to imprison J.B. Danquah. And this, for me, is a footnote in this whole romance, story that went sour between these gallant leaders that fought for our independence.
I think Mr. Baz Ibrahim's video has frozen, and we'll get in touch with him. Please stay with us here on NSG News, and this is Pulse of the Week. We are online with Mr. Ibad Ibrahim. I think he's back. Mr. Ibad Ibrahim. All right, so we'll get Mr. Ibad Ibrahim back on the line pretty shortly to continue the discussion on Nkrumah. I wanted to find out, I think it's back. Mr. Ibad Ibrahim, you're back.
Yes, sir. So I think there were disagreements. Nkrumah was born on the 21st of September. Some say 1909, others say 1912. Be that as it may, for so long, the country, Ghana, had been celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And 21st,
I know, he's outside, that's why the network is quite disturbing. But that's okay. We'll get back to him to get more on this very subject. I wanted to find out some more about Nkrumah and especially on his factories. He had a lot of factories built, over 100 factories, but still we cannot even find one as we speak. Right. So our guest is Mr. Ibad Ibrahim. He's a security, social, and developmental analyst, and we are online with him to get the best out of him relating to our subject for discussion this evening. If you're joining us, please feel free to share your comment with us because we are live on YouTube, and handle is NSG News TV. Please share your comment also with us, and we will read them here live on the show. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and it is Pulse of the Week. And we'll pick another highlight of the event that's happened in the hometown of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Don't forget, here at NSG News, we break the issues down for your consumption, and this is your most authoritative and comprehensive news analysis program. We say news with integrity. Please stay. Let's pick a video from how the event went on Monday as this government celebrated Nkrumah's 116th anniversary, and it was marked and dubbed as Nkrumah Fest all the way in Nkrofo in his home region. And also don't forget that we'll be dealing with some demonstration stories over here on NSG Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition. We'll talk to some experts over here because the Fix the Country movement, they also call themselves Democracy Hub. They organized a vigil on Sunday and continued with a protest march on Monday. They were quite worried because many youth and many Ghanaians couldn't turn up for that very protest or demonstration, but they did it anyway, and they didn't present any petition. They made sure their message went down there. The media also covered it very, very well. And just before that very demonstration on a Monday, here you have it, the New Patriotic Party also came up with Yensro Ehunahuna demonstration. It also came up, and you can see some stalwart of the party flagging Jordan, the youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, making some few pronouncements over there as he presents the petition to the officers from the IGP's office, and also continued to the Jubilee House, where he presented a petition to the presidency or office of the president over there. And we also have some more stories relating to protests, because some unpaid nurses in the northern part of our country also protested and took to the streets. They outlined some grievances they have. And here you have it. Some of them are talking and they are very unhappy. I think we have to watch this very video. Please stay with me as we watch this video and return shortly with Mr. Ibad Ibrahim on Zoom. Please stay.
Some of us have been vacated from our premises where we stay and then go to work. We pray that the government will hear our cry and then pay us, so they'll be able to settle our bills. Some people are really going through a lot. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Ralph, I want to...
Okay. I'm Jemima, one of the 2020 graduate nurses who have not been paid. In fact, we are suffering. We are tired. We need our money. It has not been easy for us. Sitting at home for even 4 years without employment. And now we have been employed for almost 10 months now without salaries. So we are pleading with the government of Ghana, the Minister of Health, the Finance Minister to come to our aid and grant us our salaries. Thank you.
Ralph, I want to understand from you, now that you are marching, where is the protest heading towards, and who are you going to send your petition to? And what is the timeline, basically?
So, this is not a demonstration against the government. This is just an appeal to the government to pay us our salaries that we have sweated for the past 8 to 9 months. And so today, the nurses within the northern zone of the country is going to submit a petition to the Northern Regional Minister to advocate for us in the highest office of government for us to be paid immediately.
Wow. So nurses in the northern part of the country, they told us very soon the southern part, nurses who have not been paid would also demonstrate, and they would be here in Accra and Koforidua and wherever to support Kumasi, to support this very demonstration. And I'm happy to go back on Zoom to talk to Mr. Ibad Ibrahim. Mr. Ibad Ibrahim, I can see you are driving already. I think I have to allow you to continue. Maybe on Friday we can have more of you, Mr. Ibad Ibrahim, there. And he is driving to the airport. I can hear you, but I think the network is not quite favorable. So we'll allow you. Maybe Friday we can have more of you.
Are you okay?
Okay, I think it's better. Are you able to drive and talk to us, because you have to stay focused, sir?
Don't worry, I can hear you loud and clear. You are on loudspeaker.
Very well. Then talk to me. I was about asking you about reasons why the NDC glorifies Nkrumah and MPP doesn't, and in as much as they glorify Nkrumah, they were the same political party that sold many of his factories to the cronies. Why is that?
Well, I think Captain Chairman Rawlings, ruled this country for a very long time, 1921,
yes.
Depending on how you do the math. So is Nkrumah a behemoth philosophy? Everybody wants to take a cherry bite, or it is something people really have the grit, the gusto and the verve to really protect. We've seen analysts who are pro MPP also come out to say they are Nkrumah. We've seen veteran journalists who belong to the CPP tradition, but they veer to either the NDC or the NDC. And these are names that are known to everybody. I need not mention them. So is it becoming a cash cow that everybody wants to take advantage of, or truly when people say they are pro Kwame Nkrumah, they indeed are. So that is the $1 million question. But the NDC sees itself as an appendage of what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah stood for. We can't argue with them on that. But as to the factory, these tie-making factories, shoe-making factories, meat factories, I just passed by one of them not too long ago. I was told in the past that was what Nkrumah had turned it into. I think we swallowed hook, line, and sinker the idea of capitalism. You know, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah built us on the foundation of socialism. That was why he was accused of leaning towards the Soviet Union. So he was pro-poor, pro-public goods and all that. But later we got to realize how rich you can be engaging in politics over time. So you can call yourself, you can have the tag and Nkrumah, but then you'll still be amassing wealth. And there's a testament to that in the slew of allegations. People who claim to be Nkrumah have been accused of in recent years. So let's let sleeping dogs fly. We have a very peaceful history that was punctuated by moments of disagreement, leading to an overthrow, leading to the incarceration of people like J.B. Dankwa and others. But how do we learn from those disagreements and today do what a Champon attempted to do? Establish a unigov. Kofi Asante, you and I, if God gives us more life to live for the next 30 years, it will be the same folly of NDC MPP, come do 8 years and go, come do 4 years and go. There will be no continuum. And so can there be a point where we put aside, for the sake of what Nkrumah stood for, this NDC MPP divide, so that as the NDC is in power now, if you have expertise and you are an MPP member, there is no harm in lending a hand to the government for the good of the state. And when the NDC is in opposition, there is no harm in lending a hand. The closest we came was when Professor Evans Atamel came up with the idea of Father for All. But he was censured. He was heavily criticized by some extreme voices, some hawkish voices within his own political party. So therefore, it becomes really difficult to tell what we can do as a country so that we unify our ranks. At every point in time, 50% of our intelligentsia are on the sidelines waiting for the 50% in government to fail so they too can come to power. Literally, that is what we are doing. Cat and mouse game we are playing. And so, Senior Kofi Asante, let's put aside the blame game. Let's put aside the bad blood that existed at some point between our forebears. Where we have taken the mantle, the baton, where do we want to take it? Our presidents who have passed on, they are easily forgotten. Not like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It means Dr. Kwame Nkrumah represented something. And if the NDC says it is Nkrumah, it should fully depict what Nkrumah stood for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibad Ibrahim. I think I have to let you go. And on Friday, we'll have a better part of you with your rapt and full attention like you usually do with us here on NSG News. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibad Ibrahim.
You're most welcome. Thank you for tolerating me while I'm in motion.
We thank you so much. All right, so that was Mr. Ibad Ibrahim. He's a security, social, and also developmental analyst. He's a consultant in terms of security as well. And he is a regular guest online. And we are looking forward to... Okay, Mr. Musa Dankwa has promised us an interview on Friday. So we'll dig deeper with the latest polls by Mr. Musa Dankwa's Global Info Analytics, where it is indicating that the passion and the love for John Dramani Mahama's government is dwindling. It's actually taking a nosedive, and his honeymoon is actually coming to an end. People are expecting a lot from John Dramani Mahama, and we would be finding out from our people here in Adenta Amahia whether their expectations after 9 months have been met. I don't know, but on Friday we'll do more of that. And also, I'm very confident by Friday we would have a lot of time to also talk about the New Patriotic Party's flag bearership race, because the vetting was done yesterday and everybody seemed satisfied. There were 2 people I couldn't even find their videos. Were they 2 or 3? Well, I couldn't find the former General Secretary for the NPP, Kwabena Ejeye Japan. I couldn't find him. In the news media, I couldn't find him. Yeah, I was able to find Dr. Bawumia. I saw Dr. Bawumia. I saw Brian Champo, Dr. Brian Champo. I saw Kennedy Japan. These 3 people, just 3. Dr. Dichum, I couldn't find anything about you. Is it that you couldn't make it? But I know all of you were there. About 5 of you were all there. So what happened? Is it because some of you've not paid your 4 million? All right, so let's do some more stories as we bring a close to today's session of Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition. And I would love to show you some few videos that occasion this week. You know, this program brings a wrap of all the things, the major stories that have actually occasioned this very week. Before we came on air, the New Patriotic Party organized a press conference led by Abu Jinapo. Yes, he was addressing issues that has to do with the United States and Ghana deportees, and also addressed some few concerns as raised by the Foreign Affairs Minister Okudzeto Ablakwa, and they were not happy with it. They said Parliament should have rectified or permitted John Dramani Mahama with respect to the U.S. deportees that they brought to Ghana. And they made references to the Gitmo 2, if you remember, the Gitmo 2, when John Mahama was enjoying his first tenure as president. There were issues surrounding U.S. bringing some Gitmo detainees over here in Ghana to be here for a while. And the case went to court, and the court ruled that Parliament should be aware of whatever happens relating to deportees and deportation. But it looks like this case, Okudzeto Ablakwa, who has been long serving at Parliament with the Parliamentary Affairs on Foreign Affairs, Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs, I must say, pardon me, and he has served on that very committee for quite a long time. So having become the Foreign Affairs Minister, one would never expect that he would go wrong on this. But in an interview with not Richard Delasky, but rather Bernard Kokoavle, he indicated that the Attorney General gave the nod. He okayed it. So it was an MOU, understanding between Ghana and United States. What do we stand to benefit as we deport some Africans from the United States through Ghana to their Nigeria, Gabon, Gambia, and what have you? I'm sure you're ready with a video? All right, let's pick this video, and I'll be right back to discuss more of them with you. Please stay with me. All right, so welcome back. Let's do some more stories. And don't forget, Tewu is also on strike. And one interesting part of the demonstration they exhibited yesterday was, we are unionists. We are not politicians. Please watch this video.
Before I start, or I take you through the facts, I want to indicate here that we are unionists and not politicians. We have political neutrality clause in our constitution, so we don't do politics. We are unionists. And unionists don't have friends. We only have a common interest. And that is the interest we are seeking to achieve at this moment. So please, press, I want you to carry this, that we are not politicians. most often you make statements and some people will politicize it and then put it on political platform. Please, we are not politicians. Maybe after our union work, if we decide to do politics, that is it. But for now, we have political neutrality, which we are abiding by. So we are not politicians. Thank you very much.
We are not politicians. We are unionists. All right, thank you very much. And that you can see in your short, Justice Bafo Boni over there, the nominated man for the, not just the Supreme Court, but the Chief Justice. Oh, let's talk more about this man because he has been nominated for the position. He was actually acting, but now he's been fully nominated to occupy in whole the Chief Justice position after the suspension. Is it suspension? The removal of the former Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. So who is this man? His name is Chief. I was about saying Chief Justice. He's almost Chief Justice. So all right. So his name is Paul Kwadwo Bafo Boni. So Paul Kwadwo Bafo Boni is a Ghanaian Supreme Court judge. He was born at Gwaso, Mempe Asem, Ghana, to Openying Bafo Boni from Sewi in the Bono Bosomtwe district, and Ama Cherewa from Bremang in the Kumasi area. He attended the Goso Local Authority Primary Middle Schools, obtaining a middle school leaving certificate in the 1960s. He also attended the Konongo Odumase Secondary School for his GCE ordinary level, what we call the O level, and GCE advanced level certificate, what we call the A level, and then proceeded to the University of Ghana and the Ghana Law School. In 1981, please note the date, 1981, he was called to the bar. Were you born by then? 1981, he was called to the bar. He worked as a circuit court judge in Kumasi and served as high court judge at Dauyao Nkwanta, or Duayao Nkwanta, pardon me, Duayao Nkwanta. Prior to his appointment as a Supreme Court judge by the President of Ghana, John Kufuor, in June 2008, he served as an appeals court judge. So don't forget, 2008, he was called to the Supreme Court, and before that, he has served as appeals court judge. And the president who did that, called him to the Supreme Court, was John Kufuor, NPP, John Kufuor. Paul Bafo Boni was on the panel of Supreme Court judges who ruled against a petition where the New Patriotic Party asked for about 4 million votes to be scrapped after it was alleged to be tampered with in the 2012 Ghanaian election. Justice Bafo Boni's rich professional background extends beyond the judiciary. Prior to joining the bench in 1992, he worked as a Principal Inspector of Taxes and Head of Legal for the Eastern and Volta regions at the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. Earlier still, he served in the Ghana Prison Service, where he rose to become Deputy Superintendent of Prisons and Head of Legal at the prison's headquarters. He is married to Patricia Bafo Boni and has a daughter, a medical, and his daughter is a medical doctor, I must say. He's married to Patricia Boni, and his daughter is a medical doctor. He is the brother of Kwesi Saint Bafo Boni, who owns Network Broadcasting Company Limited that runs Radio Gold FM in Ghana. So this is a brief about the man who is about occupying the Chief Justice position as His Excellency the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, removed Gertrude Torkornoo. Chief Justice Bafu Kwejo Boni has been nominated. Well, he's here to occupy it, but he's acting. So he's now acting Chief Justice, and he's been nominated. We'll see how it goes. We have some other stories relating to this because the former Chief Justice is at the High Court. Is it a High Court? I think so. She's at the High Court going to pray the court for some few remedies, because she says she can't be sacked as Chief Justice and procedurally be sacked also as Supreme Court judge. And she's going to question why she can't remain as a judge but keep away her job as Chief Justice. Well, the Deputy Attorney General, lawyer Srimsai, was also in court with her, and per the instructions of the Attorney General, not Godfrey Dame, that was previous, or the former Attorney General. This one is, I'll get his name for you pretty shortly. And they have gone to ask that the case be referred to the Supreme Court for some few constitutional interpretation. And I'll get the name really shortly. Dominic Akrotinga Ayeni. Yes, that's his name. This is the current Attorney General. So he has asked his deputy, Dr. Srimsai, to go and pray the court that the issue be removed from the High Court to the Supreme Court, so that some 3 motions or some 3 questions be asked of the Supreme Court for, if you like, constitutional interpretation and understanding. And here are the 3 questions. The very first one has to do with whether a person may retain their previous judicial office upon appointment to the office of Chief Justice. And there you have it. That's the very first question. That's the very first question. And I repeat, it says whether a person may retain their previous judicial office upon appointment to the office of Chief Justice. So we want constitutional interpretation to this very one. And we'll move to the second motion. The second question he wants to find out, the Attorney General says, whether the Chief Justice's membership of the Superior Courts of Adjudicature is ex officio the office of Chief Justice. That's the second motion he is asking for. And I would love to repeat, whether the Chief Justice's membership of the Supreme Courts of Adjudicature is ex officio the office of Chief Justice. The very third motion, which is the third question, is whether a person may retain their membership of the Superior Courts of Adjudicature upon removal from the office of Chief Justice. So whether a person may retain their membership of the Superior Court of Adjudicature upon removal from the office of Chief Justice. Akrotinga Ayenini is asking all of this, and I'm sure by Friday, I don't know of the date for this hearing, but I'll find out. Friday we'll come back to brief you more on this, and we'll go for a quick breather. When I come back, we'll wrap it all up for today. Please stay with me. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and we are streaming live on NSG News TV, and that's our channel's name. Please share our link and enjoy our broadcast, because we bring you a wrap of whatever is happening in Ghana. We mean the major stories. Please stay. I'll be right back. All right, so welcome back. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and this has been Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition. Thank you so much for being there for us. We brought you stories relating to crime, politics, economy, social issues, Galamsey stories, and what have you. And from our luxurious studios here in Amahia Adenta, here in Accra, Ghana, thank you. Wherever you watch that from, we say a big thank you to you. Please continue to share our page, like our page, and share it with the rest of the world. And on Friday, we'll be here to do it all over again. Once again, a big thank you to our executive producer, to our producers over here, our technical crew, our camera crew. Thank you very much. And my name is Kofi Asante Mensah. This has been NSG Pulse of the Week, the midweek edition. And I say bye for now.